Hello everyone! Welcome to another game of... I'm very tired right now. I forgot the name of this game. That does not bode well for the rest of this game session. Lost History. Yeah, Lost History. Cool. We're missing one player, but we decided we're going to play anyways. And today we are continuing the scenario that we had started previously. Does everybody remember where we left off? Armand? Okay, cool. In this case, yeah.
Oop.
I vaguely remember.
We stepped out of our wagons. Sorry, go ahead.
You were invited to a feast, which we left when a practitioner of the old ways came by asking for alms or food. And then we kind of sidetracked after that with Lusticia. And we were going to originally bring her to the Dryad, but plans have changed.
Yeah. You've just woken up. You've just come out of your respective tents or what are they called? Not caravans. Chariots. To find that scattered throughout the ruins in places where they're not likely to get soggy because of the water are multiple pies that are smelling pretty good. The scent has wafted through the air, reaches your nostrils as you're waking up, and it's you see already a couple of workers have started digging in to one of them and are making the noises of people who are pretty satisfied with what they're eating. You also see that Sophia is looking at this. Has just woken up as well. Is looking at the scene with just a little bit of the air of someone who doesn't know how to feel about this. And towards the background, you can see that Thomas is angrily talking with the people who are in charge of security. You like the guards who are taking care of like protecting the camp and stuff like this are you can hear Thomas's angry voice in the background, and and Lucent is going to is like coming by in front of you with like a pie under his hand, a pie in his hands. He's chewing and he's like, "Oh,
Hey, Lucent.
Hey there. What is with
flavor?
the pies?
I don't know. They were just there. Oh, come. This one is chicken. You want some?"
Not right now, but thank you.
More for me.
Armand just turns to Iscaridan. Or no. Where did these? Do you know where these pies came from?
No. Are there any pies still like on platters, or have they all been picked up?
They have not all been picked up. A lot of people are just waking up, and most of the crew is so far just hesitant to dig in.
I don't know if I can do this, but he's gonna pick up one and like sort of move it in his hand and pierce the top and like look underneath it. Now I want him to take it back into his carrot for a moment, and he's not gonna cast any spells. But can I use medicine to see if it's poisoned?
Technically, you would have to use poison to find out if it's poison. You can use medicine to see if there's any signs of like disease in there, or any agent that's not supposed to be inside of pie.
I could do that.
Okay.
That still helps.
Mm-hmm.
Medicine. There we go.
Yeah,
Oh man, I've been rolling so good for like my minor knowledge skills.
that's yeah. It looks pretty healthy. Looks like you have cherry and apple pie in your hands. That, as far as you can tell, is safe to eat. And also, looks like it's been made by someone who knows their shit.
Ooh.
The lattice is perfectly distributed, and the crust is flaky and buttery.
Yeah.
You like go back out and like, sit on the edge of the carrot and say, "Well, it looks fine to me." Stuck my finger in, it's still warm.
Well,
I guess these are from. They're probably gifts for Lusticia, and I look around for her.
Lusticia, it like is you don't see her. Yeah, you don't see her around. She doesn't seem to have come out of her tent yet, as far as you can tell.
Well, it's not for us to disturb her.
I go to pick up a random pie,
Okay.
and I cut a slice with, I guess, that knife I have on hand.
All right. And well, the inside is orange and buttery, and the smell of, what's it called? Pumpkin wafts up to your nose.
Are pumpkins even grown in this region?
You've seen a few.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah, it's an inspiration from like Oberia is inspired by England and stuff, and I know that they have the jack-o'-lantern story running around, which involves a pumpkin. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, they have pumpkins.
All right, then I'll just take a bite.
All right, it tastes pretty good. Tastes pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not dead. I just say they're scared.
Well, the others aren't dead too, so I don't imagine it's a very fast-acting poison, if there is a poison.
Yeah.
Just looking through my repertoire of spells. Wait a minute.
I would like to search the area for any notes
Ah.
or messages left on, maybe like on the ground,
All right.
drawn on, or on trees,
Roll
or
for
even like a set of leaves. But yes, I will roll search.
Well, yeah. Cinch would be best, actually, yeah. Ooh, you're open rolling! Okay, you know how to...
Yes, sir.
Alright, you're on it. A sucker to open roll. Okay, yeah, you're
I
definitely...
don't have inhumanity, though, so...
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you cap at 319. Still, you're doing an amazing job. You look around. You're gonna find that there are some footprints in the mud that seem to be just a little bit too small for most of the members of the expedition. It seems somebody was barefoot around the camp in a few different places, and in all of the places where pies are. Strangely enough, those footprints are when you observe them, it looks like the person was skipping instead of just walking around. And the last thing that you spot is this strange thing where the what are they called? The footsteps just stop in places where they shouldn't be able to. When there's mud all around it, and the rest of the mud should have been disturbed, but they just stop in a place where the mud is disturbed in like this strange pattern, as if there was a tunnel that was dug up and refilled very, very quickly. That's like you're getting all of the clues and all of the descriptions because of how well you rolled. But like those are some very minute clues that you're picking up on.
I make a mental note of all of that as I dig into the pie.
Mm-hmm.
I will consult the scared in any more discreet matter later.
Escaridin, you had a spell you wanted to try.
No, I used to when I thought that I could use knowledge and earth, but I cannot, so I don't have that spell yet.
Okay.
Hopefully soon.
And once you reach a certain level of knowledge, you can cast a spell that makes it faster for you to learn spells.
Not that. Well, that's true, but I was thinking more along the lines of there's a spell that just gives me a base in any knowledge skill, and I don't have any in poison, so I could have just been like, bam, I know poisons.
Yeah,
but I don't.
All right. In the meantime, you see Thomas just like passing in front of you, mumbling to himself angrily. He's like completely useless. I don't even know what I'm paying them for. He looks at you and says hello. Sees that you have pies in your hand and just goes back to walking and mumbling.
That's Sophia. Is our boss upset with us over there?
I think he's upset that somebody got into our encampment while we had a watch and discreetly left hot pies everywhere.
Who was on watch last night? I was just saying, who was on watch last night?
Angus, Brian, I don't know the redhead's name. But yeah, those three were supposed to be on watch this morning.
I jokingly suggest perhaps they didn't bring his preferred flavor.
Well, they brought most flavors I'm aware of, so he must have very archaic tastes, or specific tastes. So
when
all
weird
this is.
things-
I was saying, all this aside, we have some work to do this morning, I believe.
We always do, and it's good to start with some hearty breakfast, I suppose. Are they good? Are you? Yeah.
They seem to be fine. I didn't taste anything wrong with them. But speaking of that, I like wrap around an arm right around Scaradin. I'm going to borrow him for a bit. I'm going to look into the reasons behind the pies.
I'd be interested in knowing about the reasons behind the pies as well.
I saw a few things here and there, but I'll tell you if I find something more concrete.
Please keep me informed. When weird things start to happen, it's better to know what's going on than not to know.
Should I mark the pies in our records?
I mean, it happened.
It happened, but I'm not sure it has anything to do with the. And like Sophia pauses, and then she's just going to she heads towards the ruins.
I'm gonna make a note of the pies for the records.
Okay.
Just in case this is significant.
And so, I drag over Ascaridin to a more secluded area of the forest where it would be difficult to eavesdrop.
Alright.
So, I saw some things.
What kind of things?
So,
Wait, are we talking about another vision?
No, I'm talking about the pie trail.
Oh,
There weren't crumbs, but they left footprints.
okay.
Yeah, faint little foot. They seem to have been skipping along in the mud. And then he'll weave him around through the trees in a random manner until he gets to one of the end spots. He's just like, right here. It looks like the dirt was. It's like a mound was here. Obviously, he doesn't know about magically made tunnels, so he's trying to describe it in a way a peasant would.
Yeah.
So there's like, you seen an anthill, right? It was kind of like that, but then filled. Something. You understand what I'm saying?
I vaguely understand what you're saying.
It looks odd to me.
That is kind of odd. And I
But
look around, and is there anyone like? Are we close enough to the camp that they could hear us talking?
You because of the sound of the morning rain, you're pretty sure your voices would be covered.
Morning rain on my pie.
Morning rain on my pie.
Armand, it's something you're used to. There's in Alberia, there's always a little bit of rain in whatever you're eating.
I'm used to having water in my food.
Okay, so I'm going to look at this strange mound.
Uh-huh.
And it looks like recently moved earth, right?
Yeah.
Like stirred earth. Okay. If I don't think anyone can see us, if I don't think anyone could hear us, I'm gonna whisper some words, and I'm gonna try to start like moving the earth with my magic. Hold on a minute. It's I think I could just do 30 presents with that,
Okay.
but I can do it 30 presents every turn.
Nice. You're trying to like open the path into an underground section.
Yeah, I'm seeing like if this blockage just goes on forever, or if it's just covering a hole.
Okay.
Like a little peephole down there.
You concentrate, reach out with your mind, speak the right words, and the earth responds to you, splitting apart. And you can feel that the earth is really easy to move in those spots. Everything that is like stone and hard has already been pushed out of the way, and it seems like the earth is just opening back again. But it seems whatever dug its way through just didn't leave a tunnel behind. Just had the earth move back behind it correctly.
So tracking this would be really, really hard.
Yeah. But you are aware that this is a power, that this is like, that something has the ability of like underground movement, which is either a monster power or I think an earth spell as well.
Earth spell just lets you like pass through without disturbing the stone, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
But I don't know that for sure. It could be different per person. So yes. He's going to say, well, whatever did this, I don't think it was the guard's men. Unless he has a very specific, powerful servant.
How large are the footprints?
pretty like so. First of all, they're smaller than what you would expect from most of the crew members, and also like they don't seem to be having any shoes. They're kind of like just human shaped.
Can I get an impression on their body weight by the depth of the footprint?
Yeah. In the places where they weren't skipping, you'd say like a teenager, like a young adult towards a state of young adult. You're getting the impression that it might be someone that you've already met.
He like rubs his chin. These footprints seem familiar. I say discarded. Perhaps a young adult. Well, the only person I can think who we know who could probably pull this off is a friend of ours amongst the trees.
Perhaps it was on my list of suspicions. I still find that unusual. But maybe we can go ask her. She wanted us to bring Justicia, though.
But she's disappeared, I think. I haven't seen her yet.
Should we attempt to talk to the Dryad without her? Or should we just maybe work on the site for a little while longer? We're gonna be here a little bit, I imagine.
I'll leave that up to you. I honestly don't have anything to do here at the site. He just like puts his hands just on them. Okay, I'll just.
Well, I mean, technically you have found us a number of things already, but, oh, shoot, but I do have an obligation at the site. I do want to go and see her, but I think that'll have to be after we've begun excavating for today. Or after we finished excavating for today.
Alright. Yep. You return to camp. You keep working on throughout the day on your respective things. Armand, you are being recruited by Thomas in order to help out the guards. The guards seem to be distracted. You seem to have a very keen eye, so you're asked, can you look around, try to make sure that nobody gets where they're not supposed to. You're handling very precious artifacts, things that could go in. Armand has this idea of like a building, a place where you could store all of the artifacts that he's planning to take from this land. A place called a museum that he's thinking of, getting some nobles interested in financing back in Ilmora. I think it's Ilmora who financed your expedition. Can't have just about anybody going around doing this. Getting into the ruins in the camp is carried in. On the other hand, you're going to be, asked to keep records of any findings for the day. Excavation continues. I do believe that, despite Lucent's worries, a lot of the yew trees that are around the ruins are being uplifted, and the bones beneath are being taken out, observed. Lucia is called to perform her blessing ritual. It seems that she has wandered off or flown away during the evening and is currently not there to appease whatever spirits may still reside in those bones. But apart from that, the day goes by in a way that's not very eventful.
I tried to slip in my thoughts in a way that would not imply that I had magically come across them.
Okay.
My knowledge of the blackened fire and the bonfire and the sacrificing people.
Oh yeah, you're trying to help out the people of the expedition figure out what this place could be.
Yeah, just a little bit, sort of oh yeah, what's this make you think of? It reminds me of these ancient temples where they had this and it was similar.
Nice. There isn't really a subtlety check or a manipulation check, but I'd say like, can you roll for persuasion?
I can roll for persuasion.
Yeah, persuasion would be somewhat fitting to like to do that. Yeah. So
Not as good a roll, but I can.
Cool. So yeah, you notice that like a lot of the different people who are working here like seem to agree with some of your opinions. You'd already talked to Sophia previously of your thoughts of this place, who has since let everybody know like about your theory concerning this place, and just everybody is currently working under those assumptions and like trying to expand on that knowledge.
Cool.
But today, like there are no major finds. Basically, more bodies are excavated. More metallic objects are found on those bodies, usually silver. And at some point, Iscaridon, can you make a magic appraisal check, please?
I can make one of these checks.
I think I remember what it's called. I'm just gonna need to check.
Yeah, almost 240.
240. Okay, cool. Oh wait. Oh yeah, I need to check if how detectable these are. Because they might be they might be hard. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. One of the excavated bodies has this medallion from which you detect faint magical aura. It's oddly enough, when it should have, decomposed back into the earth, it's a wooden medallion, circle composed of three branches, at the tip of which are leaves intermingled, and it's just three leaves, just forming this strange interlocking pattern. You can hold on. Oh yeah, that really passes. That passes like all of the notion of use things. You know that it's based on three different ideas of the Lilim religion, the interconnectedness of animals, supernatural, and spiritual. So you based on your role, you immediately know what the powers are, and you can roll for a cult to know a little bit about its lore. Basically, you can concentrate to improve your. You can use the boon of the animals to concentrate and make your senses as sharp as that of an animal. You can, for the boon of the supernatural, you can use the medallion for channeling. If you start to use spiritual magic, and you only need to spend half of the Xeon you would to attune to a spiritual area. Last of all, I think the last boon allows you to observe and communicate with spirits by closing your eyes and perceiving the world through your soul.
That sounds pretty cool and spooky and useful. Would I be able to roll a cult or history?
Yeah.
To know the repercussions of taking this from a body, and who would have this? What kind of person would have this?
Yeah.
A cult?
Yeah, go ahead. Either one is good.
Up.
Oh, open roll. Okay. This is a symbol of the priests of Lilium. It's a religious symbol that has been there since the beginning of the order of the priests of Lilium, to ratify appointments and signify positions in the hierarchy. You know that they use they all used to be enchanted, but that for a lot of those, the enchantments have failed over time, and so that there's a lot of these that are going around. That are just wooden medallions. It's called Nudus. It's a circular pendant carved of oak depicting 3 interconnected leaves. Each leaf has a different meaning, but collectively they represent the union between the mundane and the spiritual. The magical abilities of the Nudus come from the spirits who attributed 3 gifts to the charms: the animal, the soul, and supernatural. Yep. That's what you get. You're muted.
He will relieve the body of the amulet momentarily.
The person who's like digging out the body is like record keeper.
Yes.
Do you know how to handle bones and artifacts so that they don't break?
I'm a doctor as well.
Doctor in what?
Just about everything.
Okay, just
Whipped out his PhDs.
remember to label it and to be careful with that.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
I think that our sponsor may have special interest in this thing. I'm going to set it down. Alright. That's cool. So do I have it with me now, or did he want me to set it back down?
No, you have it with you now. He
okay.
Like when he hears you say that like Thomas would be especially interested in it, he's like, yeah, fine, you deal with Thomas this morning. I'm not going close to him.
Excellent. All right. And he will hold on to it for a while. Where's our? And this is just during the course of the day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He'll spend a little bit of time with it and study it. I don't know if it has any notion of use powers that I have to bind myself to it to use.
It had, yeah. All 3 powers are notion of use. It's 1, 2, and 3. 1 for the supernatural one, 2 for the animal, and 3 for the spiritual.
Let me take a quick look.
But yeah, since you pass both the magic appraisal and the occult check by a lot, like the difficulty for the fable was 180, it will be like a reduced amount of time to get those notions of use.
Okay, so
like I think that like yeah, by the end of the day, you've got access to all 3 powers.
Okay. Affinity. Oh wow. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, you're right. By the end of a minute, I would have access.
All right.
That's so cool.
Cool. Okay. Armand is apart from keeping an eye out, is there anything that you do during the day?
I'll be moving to like the outskirts of the encampment.
Mm-hmm. All right.
You away from the hustle.
You still have this notion that you're being watched at certain times, and it's eerie because your senses are very strong, and yet all you can really detect that you can put your finger on is this sense that the birds are just a little bit too silent, and the sounds of nature around you don't sound just right. You've been to this forest before, it feels like the forest is waiting in anticipation for something.
Well, I'm spooked.
Okay. All right. The evening comes, and before the clouds above your head start to take the darker taint of the night, a bell is rung, and everybody returns to camp for food. Tonight is tonight is a very plain vegetable broth cooked in rainwater that's been collecting in the cauldron all day. It's distributed to everyone. The smell reaches your noses, and yeah, you're not that hungry right now.
It's not the feast we had this morning. By the way, I would like to say that just once day, I would have been tempted and tried to use the boon of the supernatural, and just to feel if there was anything in this site with us that I was missing. Of course, I'm pretty sure that Armand would know that there wasn't, because he can see this all the time. But
yeah, you to observe it, communicate with spirits, blah blah blah, and perceive the world through your soul. You are going to get this this sense that there is something. By closing your eyes and concentrating, you're gonna feel something that Armand can't detect. The veil between the real world and the wake is very thin.
Oh.
Shoot. I know I should have chosen a different path of magic.
And there's you can feel that there's basically behind this membrane that separates reality from dream, there's a lot of things on the other side. There's a lot of energy there.
That must be why I feel so energized.
Can he determine if it's positive or negative?
Can anyone?
I don't know. Is there such a thing as good or bad energy? We'll find out. Okay. So, rainwater stew.
Yeah. And then
Are we done for the day?
Yeah, you're done for the day, basically. At this point. So what do you do?
At the end, I'll quietly talk to Scaradin. I'm going to give Willow a quick visit tonight.
Yes, I was hoping to do so as well. Also, I suppose I have something I should ask her. Shall we?
Yes. And we leave the woods in a circumvent manner, obviously to hide our traces.
Okay.
I'll use my track skill to hide my tracks, if you want.
Okay.
I would be totally fine with that. I would appreciate if you would. I like our crew, but I don't know what they'd think if they saw us talking to Tree Lady.
Go ahead, make that make the check to make it harder for everybody to find your bodies tomorrow.
No.
Okay, yeah, you're pretty good at covering your track. All right, I'm gonna change that music. To
Did you say it was really nice and spooky, and then it turned into something else?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. You make your way to the grove where you met Willow beforehand, and you find her there. She is she has this she has this twig thing that comes out of the water that seems to have been carved into the shape of a flute, and she she has this sort of metal stick that she's using to get the finishing details, and she's leaning back against the willow tree that's right there, and when you arrive, she gets up to her feet and says, "Oh, you took your sweet time."
Well, we came across some problems. One being that our saint is not with us today.
I saw her fly away earlier. It's all
Fly
right.
away?
I
That
think-
explains why I couldn't find tracks.
I think she was heading towards the village. It's alright. These things happen.
I came here to. Were you the one who left us those pies this morning?
Yes. Did you like them?
It was delicious. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Our companions like them very much also.
The old man Armand seems rather receptive.
He's a grumpy old man. I don't like him. Alright. Still I'm not sure if I should be trusting you with this because it's... it's a lot. But...
Let my charm advantage come in handy here.
Not really. But you both... you
But
both...
I'm charmed.
You both remind me strongly of friends I used to have. I've got to show you something. Follow me. And
Follow.
yeah.
Actually, I have a few questions of my own whenever we can get around to them, but that's fine.
Oh yeah. Like while you're walking, she's like you can talk. So she's saying, we've had a problem with the human leader recently. The Duke Kieran. He's upset a lot of my people because he's forbidden offerings and forbidden anything that has to do with communicating between our people and humans. He doesn't know we exist, but a lot of my folks don't think that that's good enough reason to do what he's been doing. But his son can see us. His son has the gift of sight. So I'm just trying to get everybody to wait in one generation until his son can take over. It's growing a bit restless.
Until what?
Until his son takes over.
Oh.
I'm sure his son will.
The
be more
forest has been rather quiet lately.
We're all holding our breath, waiting to see what happens next. Your arrival is not helped things much. You are treading on secret ground. So far you've done pretty well, respecting the customs for people coming here.
Well, on that note, we discovered something today during the dig, and he will pull out the nudist, and he'll say, "I know vaguely what this is, and
Oh, yes.
I didn't know if this would be a major weight against us digging this up. They want to put it in a museum. Its intent will be to sort of spread the awareness of these cultures and this identity of these people, and I think it's generally pretty noble, but at the same time, it belonged to someone of importance, I imagine."
Well, humans have a strange relationship with those things. She was put in the ground with it, and she was laid there to rest and become part of nature again. I guess she has become part of nature because a huge tree grew out of her. So that was accomplished. I suppose there's no harm in taking this, but I know some of you humans might disagree. It's not. It's the body of. Well, it's the body of one of your folks, so can't make that choice for you. There's lots of choices I wish I could make for you, but can't. I hope you make the right ones.
I hope I do too. But and it shows Armand. I'll show this to Armand now. This is it could be very useful for what we're doing.
Well, what does it do?
Well, for me, I don't imagine it would do quite as much for you. It might, who knows? It's a spectacular little trinket that can allow one to become more in tune with nature, even give one the senses of beasts and the ability to see beyond the veil of mortality.
I'm not very interested in seeing beyond the veil of mortality, but attuning to more beast-like senses does sound quite useful.
Well, actually, they might prefer you to try it to me, since I've not lived here. This is not necessarily my land. If you want to try it,
And then he'll reach out and attempt to grab it.
Can I extend like my knowledge? Can I tell him? I can tell him what it is, what it does, what he should be focusing on. Can I give him my bonuses to it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. How much power do you have?
Yeah, he'll be able to use the power as you describe it. I need you to roll willpower. It's a difficulty of 12 to use the boon of the animal. Nope. You don't feel any different. Even if you succeeded, you wouldn't feel that different. Oh no, actually you would. It would still boost. Okay, so what it gives you is basically a perception of 10, which would raise your perception by 5, and it gives you a notice of 140 and search 140 for the next minute. If you.
I don't feel different.
Yeah. You spend 9 seconds focusing, just like Iscaridon says. He tells you should feel like this sharp increase in your senses as your as you get more animal features and stuff like this. But yeah, nothing.
I guess I'm just not compatible, and I hand it back to him.
Maybe it's old. I've succeeded at using it myself, but it might not have maintained all of its powers. It's very old. Many of these just lose their power entirely. I want to focus to try the animal thing.
Okay. Roll for willpower.
No,
Oh.
mine's good though. I have good willpower.
Yeah, you just failed by 1 point.
Maybe you're right. It might have lost that. I'll try it again later. Anyways, thank you for your insight. I wanted to make sure that using this, even if it's for the benefit of this place, would not immediately bring down the thunder on my people. Yeah. Okay, so I will continue to follow her.
Alright. So you reach basically this. You're going to reach this sort of a piece of land that you haven't been to before, that stands between the ruins and the Duke's village. Here you can see that the trees have been cleared, and that a fence has been set up, and that there are tombstones, most of which shaped like crosses, scattered throughout this place. You are a graveyard, and Willow skips over to what a stone structure towards the side of the of this place, and is going to like, she seems to ignore most of the human things that are here, and she focuses on the burnt out tree that is next to the mausoleum. She's looking at it sadly, and like, you can see very clearly this thing has been through some rough times.
It looks like there's a face here.
Does it?
Hmm?
Maybe there is.
Maybe there is.
This is a mausoleum. Did the worshippers of Lilith use mausoleum? Is this a more recent burial chamber?
The people of Lilium burned their dead. This is a recent addition since Christianity arrived in these lands. I thought you'd know that based on all of the crosses.
Oh, there are crosses. Yes, I suppose I should have noticed that. Oh, there's the big one. Yeah. Man, I really wish this talisman worked.
Armand, you can feel there's a few shades standing above some of the graves, just observing you from far, not doing anything, just present. And Armand, you can very clearly see that there's a faint magical aura coming from the burnt out tree that's in front of you. It sort of feels like a different version of the willow tree where you meet Willow.
Also, this taint on the ground. Is that actually there?
Yep.
Wow, okay. That's not good.
No, this is not good.
I warily walk away from the taint and get closer to the tree. I rest a hand on it. You know, just observing it.
You can roll for herbal lore if you'd like to get some intel on this.
Try.
Oh, okay. This used to be a hawthorn tree. Well, this is a hawthorn tree. It's just that before it would have bloomed white flowers and things like this, but now it's coming towards the end of its life. It's currently recovering from fire.
This hawthorn tree, it's been burnt. As I look around, are there unnatural signs of a natural fire? If there are natural signs of a normal fire, or does this look man-made?
It was definitely man-made. You are realizing that basically this place was burnt down to make way for the cemetery.
And then I cautiously step over to the entrance of the mausoleum, and I look down at it, and I turn to the scared. Can you see this?
It's like there's a metallic crate stopping you from going deeper into the darkness, but and there are a few words in Latin above the door that say, "Here lies the noblest of all of them, the Athol family."
Apple or apple?
Athol.
I can't read Latin. just clarify.
No. Well, okay, well, it says it's the most noble of families, the Apple family.
Was that the Duke's family?
Was it? I didn't think that was his last name.
I don't think so either.
By the way, Miss Willow, was this ever a dryad?
Yeah, it was.
Athol.
It still is. This is Morgana's tree.
So she's still awake and wary of us right now.
I don't know where she is, but she doesn't like humans, and I just wanted you to see this place. candle from over there lit up a fire after the place had been burned. After the place had been cleared of most of their trees, the worship that humans have for the Duke ended up costing Morgana a lot, and well, it's better you hear what she has to say for herself. There's a meeting this evening. That's where I'm taking you, but I don't think she has the patience to wait for another generation.
I pat Scared on the shoulder. Well, it's good luck knowing you. Nice knowing you.
Wait, are you not coming?
Oh no, I'm just making a joke.
Oh, okay.
You'll be all right. You're my guests. It should be okay. It's this way.
Let us go then.
All right. As I look away from the eerie taint of darkness in front of the mausoleum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You keep going, and you are going to reach a place deeper in the woods where the magical energies are stranger. You reach this lake that's reflecting above which there are no clouds, and you can see the reflection of the moon in the waters. Waters are very, very still, and Willow is going to grab a hold of the sort of like branch that is dipping into the water, and basically just like starts to lean her weight onto the branch and to slide towards the surface of the water, and she says, "Come on, we haven't got all day." And she disappears beneath the surface, barely making any ripples.
Can you breathe underwater?
I turned to him. No. Can you?
No.
I can hold my breath pretty long though. So
I can't even do that.
let me try this. If I
Okay.
don't come out, follow me anyway.
Okay. I can raise the dirt, so hopefully I'll be able to get you out if you do that. But that would probably trigger something bad to do.
Well, I grab the tree, probably a lot heavier than she is, and just start to lean back.
Okay.
Actually, hold on really quick, just so I can see. Can I I want to create light. Can I just make his hair really bright and shiny?
Can he?
Using what spell?
Create light. I
Sure.
think I can attach it to an object.
Yeah.
Yeah, on an object determined. by
Bedazzle
myself.
me, man. Roll stat.
Boom! Now your hair is not only like very pale, but it is glowing with golden light. You are a Super Saiyan.
You don't get any of the benefits of being a Super Saiyan.
No,
No, I would hope not.
that would be
That's terrible.
excellent to like not explain the spell and just like give it to an ally and say, "Boom! Your hair glows golden. You are powerful now. Go!"
Mhm.
It's just light.
More
alright.
round.
You cross the threshold, you pass through the surface, and enter a place that is also air. You find yourself hanging on to another branch on the other side, and pulling, and as Willow is pulling you up out of the waters. You're not wet, and all around you, it seems to be the same place, just different. And there's
Scary
creatures.
moose.
There's creatures all around you. There's Willow first of all, and then there's a few creatures that look like plants, but they're definitely moving like animals would. On top of that, you also see a few wolves, lions, things that are completely made out of thorn, and
I
that
love those things.
yeah. I'm gonna show you some pictures in just 1 second. I'm just trying to get your tokens onto this map beforehand. Copy. Right. And yeah, it like just before you arrived, everybody seemed to have been going on in a discussion in ancient English. So like you're picking up on a lot of words, but the grove becomes a little bit more silent as you emerge from the waters. I believe Iscaridin is going to be behind you.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I actually see his hair still lit up in there?
No, it just.
So as soon as he goes beneath.
Yeah, it just disappears.
Yes, but I'm still handsome.
Can I sense my spell?
You can sense that your spell is still active.
Okay.
Yeah, you can sense that you should definitely be able to see it, and that's the with your magic appraisal, you're able to see that the surface of this lake is not what it seems to be.
All right. He will grab onto the branch and start pulling himself in.
All right. So this is what the tree, what the thorns creatures look like, and this is what the branch, what the other like plant-like creatures look like. I called them planticles in the previous game, and I forgot to remove that.
Why are they planticles?
Well, I'm sure it's okay. It's easy to figure that one out. And you notice that there is one other figure present here. It is a sort of older looking dryad with some bandages hiding her burn marks, but less bandages than you'd seen her with previously. She's holding onto a staff, and
Wait, is that the old lady?
she seems to have the same cape, the same green cape that has this strange Celtic cross on the back of it. And she's basically like surrounded by a lot of the creatures that are here, as if she was addressing them. But silence has fallen upon this assembly as you've arrived. Willow is just skipping about. And she says hello to a few of the creatures and just sits down. And when she finally notices that everyone's a bit quiet, she says, "Oh, these are my guests. They respect nature, and they have and they're friends. And they're our friends because they have respected the first of the three customs." And you see a lot of the creatures nodding and resuming discussing. A lot of them, you're not quite sure if they're able to speak any human languages, but they are communicating. So, and you can sense that here.
Can I know about the Catholides?
Sorry?
Can I know about the Catholides?
Roll for a cult.
I got Jack. Where am I? There I am. Do-do-do-do.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Why don't you let everybody know what you know about the Catholics?
Well, besides what is in this description here. I was just going to say they communicate. They must communicate through either essence magic, which I don't think they personally ever sent. So they're probably just throwing sense at one another, because that's the only sense they have is scent. And I was just trying to figure out how I could possibly say hello to a cat for the days.
Lift your armpit.
Yeah. Hello, this is me. But if that's true, then all I could do is say hello. I would be able to tell them anything else. I don't actually know a ton about them. I just know that a friend of mine had one as like their familiar ally.
I kind of just walk up in there and just wave at the various creatures.
Hey.
Some of them wave back.
Wow.
Most don't.
Nice to meet you. My name's Armand. Hi. No.
You're
Hi,
welcome, Armand, for now.
I'm sorry, what?
That's Morgana says, you're welcome here, Armand, for now.
My name is Carradine Rowe. It's a pleasure to be here.
The pleasure is yours. Morgana says, she gets up and she says, this assembly was getting a little bit dull without anyone willing to offer any points going against me. Everyone here seems to agree. The humans are disrespecting us. They used to believe in us, brought us into existence with the strength of their emotions. Their beliefs shaped the way, shaped this place. They made a lot of us by having us in their religions. Now, forgotten us, left us behind, mistreated us, burnt us. And worse still, they are destroying the symbols of our bonds. And like at this point she turns towards the both of you and says, they come into the place where our ancestors met with the other races and communed with them. Can't let this keep on going. We have to make sure that the humans know we're here and that they respect us. Otherwise, what happened to me will happen to you. They'll forget your existence and they'll erase you without even realizing it. You can hear a couple of the creatures around here murmuring, apparently in agreement. Willow is saying, wait, I think humans they don't know. They haven't seen a lot of us in a really long time. If maybe when the Duke's son comes to power, since he sees a lot of us, he can make things better. And like Willow turns to you, almost like with a stare that almost is like, help me out here.
As Carradine looks at Armand for a moment and clasps his hand and says, I may bring good news. As Carradine, Armand, this is not something that we should mention immediately upon returning to camp. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. The queen, or the human who would consider herself queen of this land, is aware of you. And as part of this expedition, she has asked me to document instances of you and your people and your abilities and what you can do, with the intent of eventually bringing the people of this land back into the way of thinking more common in the past of the religion of William, of a communion with you.
Eventually, you and Willow are the same. You're talking about making plans for future generations, while the rest of us are here, dying, rotting because of what your fellows are doing.
I agree.
You say you bring good news, but the humans that you led through this forest, she points to Armand, have done nothing so far but be disrespectful. Have done nothing but dig up the bodies of those that were being returned to the Earth Mother, and show no sign of stopping.
Armand is like I haven't done a penny. First off,
I understand this concern and I empathize with you, but one of the reasons I'm here, I'd like to gather these instances, positive instances of ways that our people can live together, and reasons why we should celebrate your existence rather than fear it as many do. If you were to attack, if you were to harm the people that live here, it would be counterproductive. You might sacrifice moments of safety now, safety by means of scaring the people, for a future where you could live together harmoniously. I'm not saying that you can't do anything now, but perhaps we can find another solution.
I'm gonna need you to roll, and it's probably going to be persuasion.
Persuasion.
First off,
No!
I was gonna ask you to roll etiquette first in order to be.
I don't. But
yeah.
I.
To show that you're able to address everyone in a way that is fitting.
Yes, that is my etiquette untrained.
Okay, cool.
That with the negative 30 is already in there.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. You might be stepping on a few leaves here, but overall you are getting your point across. Anyways, I'm gonna call for a short break, and we'll be right back.
Understood.
Right, we're back. Okay. So, Armand, you just asked a question, and yes, Lilium is the current religion of this country, but Christianity itself hasn't been outlawed. So the Duke isn't technically breaking any laws by, in his own territory, enforcing a don't practice those rituals. I mean, it's kind of vague because a lot of the nobles shouldn't in this land should have less authority than nobles in other lands, but they have a different kind of authority. It's a bit the political system is in turmoil right now. There was a recent civil war and stuff.
right?
Anyways, Morgana
Go ahead.
slams her staff into the ground, producing purple bolts of destructive energy. She says, enough. You humans have already had kings and queens and monarchs who knew about us before. Nue, Nie, Nuada, Dulahan. All of them were aware of us. All of them respected us. And in a few short generations, all humans have embraced a new religion and forgotten we even existed, and with this carelessness done this to me. No, It's not time to earn the respect of the humans anymore. It's time to earn their fear. This is a new monarch coming to the throne and saying that she will bring us out of the light, make people respect us. Is just beginning a new cycle that we'll see more spirits hurt like I was. If we're going to come out of the woodwork, if we're going to come into the light, we must do so in a way that that the humans will not forget. You can see she's like making a point to a lot of the spirits that are here, and that Willow seems to be kind of at a loss to find a counter argument to this. After that, a few of the other creatures are going to take turns communicating, and a few of the times you just have no idea what is being said, because when a few of them communicate in ways that are completely beyond your ability to understand.
Can I lean over to Willow and say, "Can you tell us what they're saying?"
Yeah. So Willow leans back and she says, "Smell of roses, the smell of hawthorn mixed with the smell of chestnuts, the smell of roses again. He's suggesting a middle approach here."
Neither you then.
That's interesting. So Armand will approach, step up and explain. The Duke is a avid follower of the Church of Christianity. I don't know if you followed its practices, but they ingrained a deep fear of the supernatural into its followers. If you were to attack them, that would only prove them right and turn even more people away from respecting you. This could have very deep implications on your image.
Maybe we're beyond the point of begging for your respect.
And then what after that then? What if you supposedly go on with your actions and become enemies of the people around here? What's of the longevity of your people? Do not think that our country followed Christianity for so long out of choice. The power of the empire was massive. And only recently, I hear, due to some struggles, that we managed to become a little more independent.
Right. A few of the spirits seem to be agreeing that maybe the situation is more complicated and Morgana is portraying it in your role for persuasion as well. Nice. Okay. You are going to succeed in basically calming a lot of the spirits that had become a bit more restless after Morgana's words, and basically the rest of the meeting is going to basically be more peaceful. As Morgana tries a few other arguments, they don't seem to land very well, and then she's just going to get frustrated and leave. After that,
hold on, don't leave just yet. I have other suggestions.
you can't tell me what to do, human.
I'm not telling you what to do.
Then I'm leaving.
Please stay.
She's leaving.
Are you all persuasion?
That won't necessarily work on her, especially since you like the way you phrased it is not she does not appreciate the way you try to phrase this.
Charm.
Use your charm, eye, Twinkle.
My good looks up.
Look, she thinks you're hot, but but maybe that's not the best thing for a burn victim like her to think.
Also, maybe like she's a
I hate myself for making that joke. That was a terrible joke. I am so sorry. Okay, what were you saying, Sam?
I don't know. I just had like I don't even know if dryads like other beings. But anyways,
she's probably attracted
tree
to other
people.
trees. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. The tree people. So I don't want to think about that too much. But okay. So, do you think she'll do anything on her own? I'll turn to Willow and say,
Not on her own. No. She always whenever she's doing things, she always does it with other people or through other people. But I think right now you've reduced the number of creatures here that she has a claim on. And like, yeah.
Instead of waiting or something more drastic, perhaps you could open up negotiations. Iscaridon, are there any other like political figures next to the forest that aren't heavily Christian influenced?
I do not know off the top of my head. Would that be a history check?
Kind of. Armand, you yourself know that, the Duke is kind of an isolated person, but he has an influence over, like, this section of the Gretma forest? No, not, of this section of the forest. And yeah, Iscaridon, you have enough in history to, like, know a little bit about that.
So there aren't really any other major civilizations for some distance.
No. There's a lot of other villages. It's just that, like, in this area, most of them are under the influence of the Duke.
Okay. No, the Duke's the big man right now.
I turned to Iscaridon. With the acceptance of Lydium as our main religion, would that not mean that he points to the creatures and other people here? The inhabitants are people of us land as well. Could they not claim independence for this area? You could contact the Queen, possibly, yes?
I believe that is what the Queen would like, and that's probably what the laws imply. But part of the idea is that if word gets out that there have been many interactions with these beings in a negative fashion, such as them seceding and the possible violence that might come from that, the Inquisition would force their way in.
For those who don't know, he gestures. The Inquisition are the supernatural hunters of the church. Before they were kicked out, I hear they would kill witches in the villages. What do they do primarily?
Hunt.
What would I have heard?
Basically, try to murder every single creature who's present at this meeting, including both of you, because both of you have supernatural powers of some sort, and also are reincarnations of supernatural creatures. Yeah, so
no friends of ours, and I'll make Armand's hair like light up again.
Yeah,
but the Inquisition is a very, from what I hear, dangerous group of people. I saw them from a distance before, and it gave me chills.
Yeah, you see a couple of creatures like agreeing, and there's a Catholidace that is showing like a recovering, like a wound that seems to be like festering and rotting on its shoulder, and like a lot of the creatures like seem to agree at what sense from the Catholidace.
With the Duke being a devout follower of the church, he will most likely gladly open his arms to any inquisitors who wish to make their way into the forest. Currently, the Queen's laws forbid them, but the Duke is isolated. So if you make your presence known while he's in power, perhaps you could strike him a blow, but he's not alone.
I like to think that these are actual like grapes and nuts that are like, oh hey, have some of these, and it's just there's a creature. They're all on a creature.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought this was just a bush.
I bet this water is really tasty too.
Roll poison resistance.
I didn't drink it. I'm just saying.
Okay.
It looks tasty.
All right.
I might drink it though,
Yeah.
but after the conversation.
So the rest of this assembly, it doesn't seem as formal as human affairs. So basically, like some of the creatures that are here just end up wandering away. It's dying down, and towards what feels like the end of it, Willow comes to you and says, "All right, I've talked to everyone. Everyone seems to agree with your position. Still don't know if it's the right one, but at least we're stalling until we find something better. Please don't tell anyone how to get in here.
How do we get in here?
Good. This way." And she's gonna take you back to the edges of the lake, and she points to Brand. She says, "It's not absolutely necessary, but it helps." And like, she basically like does the same thing of dropping herself into the waters in reverse. And disappears under the surface.
Right, does that mean, is she implying that if we're to jump in there, I would jump out of the lake too? I turned to scared it.
But yes, but depending, if you jumped and you went straight up or straight into the lake, you would then pop straight out, and the gravity would pull you back in, and it would become a loop, and that sounds very scary.
I don't turn down from a challenge.
Well,
Scared to get to the other side. I'm gonna try this.
Scared will pull himself through, and as he does, he'll look around and say, "Willow."
Okay. When you pull yourself through, you come out soaked in water. You come out you're basically like coming into the water this time, and like coming on the other side, and the lake feels like it's a physical lake when you're exiting it from this side. So like basically you're not coming out directly, pulling yourself out of the water. You're coming through the water and then like emerging with your clothes sagging. You manage to like get out of it quickly enough that the papers that you have on you aren't completely ruined. But yeah,
I imagine that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I may.
Yeah.
I imagine they would give me water-sealed containers for the purpose of going to the place of eternal rain.
Oh, that is fair. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Armor. What do you do?
Try to yeah. And then is Willow still here?
Yeah. Willow is present. She's looking around the forest, making sure nobody observing if anybody's seen the both of you coming out of the lake.
Willow, I have a favor to ask you. And then he like looks over his shoulder and sees it.
I find like a nice high spot, and then I get a running start, and I jump, and I go horizontal, so I splash face first into the water.
Roll jump, please. Or style.
I'll probably just do both.
Okay.
How good is your dive? Oh,
Not very good.
Not very good indeed.
I don't have training in jump. He doesn't really
Yeah,
jump very often.
you try to get the head first. You do not succeed to get the head
this
first.
is a belly flap.
Yeah. 20 is, you jump. Oh,
He's
and
pretty agile though. His
yeah,
movement's
yeah.
pretty good.
But your style also sucks. So yeah,
Not very glamorous.
you jump into the water and you're expecting basically this sort of infinite loop, but re-merging back into the real world, you're actually just like coming out of the water. And I'm gonna need you to roll for swim because you moved far enough away from the bank that this is a concerning situation for you. You're drowning. So Iscaridin, you see Armand like emerge from the surface of the water and then go back in and not emerge again.
No. I still have a movement value of 2 in the water. even
Yes,
with that.
yes. You're sinking at a movement value of 2.
No, I could swim at a movement value of 2.
You failed you got a -5 on your swim check. You're drowning.
Ugh.
I know how to swim,
Okay.
but I don't know.
Okay.
This is a terrible idea.
Yeah. What do you do?
I will light up his hair so I can see him
Okay.
in the water.
Yeah, you're able to see him in the water. Yeah.
Do I have any spells? I really don't think I do.
You can feel
Increase weight? No, that's
if you can you can reshape Earth, and you can feel that there is mud beneath the lake.
okay. Now, will this take more than 30 presents?
No, it should be good enough with 30 presents.
Okay. We're just gonna make like a pile as much mud as I can below him so that he can get his feet on the ground and go above water, and I'll firm
Yeah.
it. I'll make it firmer if I can too.
You're pushing the water out of this earth that you're reshaping and taking him out of the water. Armand, you cough up a bit of water, and you're looking a bit less stylish than you would have liked, but you're alive.
I'm going to try to like weave a walkway with mud to the shore,
All right.
You look really defeated.
All right.
and then cleanliness.
You were completely wet and covered in mud, but suddenly you're sort of dry, and you have no mud on your clothes.
Nice. Thanks.
You didn't get as much air as I thought you would.
No. Oh, I did not.
Willow.
You used to be like that too.
What?
Really weird.
Why did she sing? I can't hear.
Like, your mic's really quiet. It's hard to hear.
Oh, okay. Well, she said something about you used to be like that too, and it's weird. That's all you made out. Yeah. You wanted to ask me something?
I have, which might be, I don't get to ask this question to many people. It might be an outrageous favor, and if it is, I'm truly sorry, and you don't need to expect it from me again. But you are a dryad. I was just casually wondering if I might, if you might be able to teach me a little bit about how you use magic.
Yes. Yes, of course. I would love
deeply
that.
appreciate it.
I would really love that.
Just some of the basics. I know that willows generally have a little bit of a variety in their spells, do they not?
Yes,
Compared to other dryads.
we do. I've had teachers showing me a lot of different spells.
Obviously, if it's not an opportune time.
Oh, I think now could work. Yes. And so like she's going to like start demonstrating a spell to you. You're pretty sure it's an air spell. But as she's performing it, you can see flames start to appear around her hands, and she starts to scream.
Oh shoot! What do? I don't have to put out fire. What's going on?
I take my cloak, I dab it in the lake, and then try to put her out.
Okay. You do that, and like you can feel the flames getting extinguished beneath your fingers, and yet the cloak that you're holding, it starts to steam, and it starts to get warmer as you're holding it, and Willow this entire time is looking confused and scared, and she turns back towards the ruins, and she says, "What's happening? What's happening?"
Is it her tree?
You can.
I gotta run.
You can see a little bit of smoke rising from next to the ruins.
Oh,
God.
shit.
They're putting her tree.
I grab Scaradin and her. How much do you weigh, Scaradin?
I am not too heavy. I am 150 pounds.
How much does she weigh?
Less than that.
Alright, so I can carry them both with ease.
Okay.
And I start sprinting back to the
Alright.
tree.
Alright.
I
Make an athletics check.
Alright. Athleticism.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. You sprint. You sprint. You make it across the the forest. You pass by the lights of your campsite where the guards are observing the outskirts of the forest. It is now the night, well and proper, and by the when you're making your way to Willow's Grove, you are going to spot three torches, the lights of three torches hanging there, and as you come closer, you are also going to see. You're going to hear three voices speaking in Ailish in an accent that is unmistakably that of local villagers. You make your way, and you find three of the Duke's men, just basically present there with axes, and they are lighting the tree on fire.
Whoa, hold on. Put that fire out immediately. As we come into this, if I may.
Yeah. So this is what Imperial guards in the Empire look like most of the time. So we're gonna say that they have like the typical guard armor.
They're cool looking.
Yeah. And they have lances. And go ahead and roll leadership.
Oh.
Sorry, I lost it. There it is.
On
37 with the negative 30.
On whose authority? We answer no one, but we answer no one's authority, but the Duke's.
And the Duke has expressed his appreciation of our purpose in these lands. That tree, verbal, may be a symbol tied to the ruins of the nearby. Dang it, what is it called? I'm losing my head.
Ruins?
Yes. We're archaeologists, and I believe that this tree has some sort of sacred significance. We need it to stay alive before, in order to get all the research we need.
So like, the guard that addressed you seems to be like actually considering it, and the other two, like Armand, I'm gonna need you to roll a notice check. But the other two are like leaning towards each other and like observing the situation, and like they look into you disapprovingly. You're gonna hear one of them say, "If we're not gonna get paid if we don't take down the tree like she said." Yeah. And Willow is starting to chat something and move her burned hands, and like she's concentrating, trying to get through the pain, and you can feel a little bit of magic coming out of her, both of you. What do you do? Oh, one of the guards is saying, so like okay, with your leadership test, unfortunately, the guard is gonna say, the expedition has no business here. We're here to take care of some business. Be about your way.
He will not be happy to hear that you have disobeyed the orders of someone under the Saint Lustitia.
Roll persuasion. Wait, no, roll intimidation.
Intimidation, yeah, that's more intimidation thing. Dang it. Do I have better intimidation? I have the same.
Okay.
Slightly better.
Saint Lustitia doesn't pay us at the end of every day.
You won't be getting paid at all if the Duke hears of this.
And like one of the guards that's behind them is saying, "That's where you're wrong. We've already been paid." And like you can see he's like jangling a bag of a purse of coins.
Paid by the Duke or some lady? You mentioned her. Yeah, who paid you?
At this, one of the guards says he knows too much and is going to like prompt his spear towards you and says, "You're not to intervene in this business. Get out of here." Willow, you can see that she misses her spell as she's preparing it, and she's, "Please help!" And like her tree is still burning. So yeah, one of the guards is going to roll initiative and try to intimidate you the best he can. So roll initiative.
All right, I'll draw my bow and roll initiative. 8.
Okay, I'm gonna be using the stats of the longsword,
Oh, dang it.
but they have spears technically.
May I return it to my original, or no? I don't mind if I can't.
What did you... Wait, did you just roll twice?
The second time I rolled because I didn't roll clicking my character the first time.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Cool. Okay. Iscaridin, you're the first to act. Willow is not gonna be, like, is gonna try to cast spells, but she doesn't have enough, withstand pain to cast some magic, while her tree is burning, so she's gonna be out of a lot of this fight. Iscaridin, you're the first to act. What do you do?
I say, Armand, can you handle them?
I'll do my best. You should probably deal with the torches.
Are the torches laying against the tree, or they have them in their hands and the tree is on fire?
Yeah, a single branch of the tree was lit by their torches.
Give me your cloak. I could put it out with magic, but I'd like to avoid using that yet. And he's gonna just try to like go up and like try to throw it over the tree and like smother it if he can.
Okay. That is going to get you opportunity attacked by the three of them.
Doesn't that mean that I have to run into their territory and then out of it? To get
Technically, yes.
Be grateful.
Yes. I feel like, yeah. Okay, because of how high of initiative you rolled, you're able to like run before they're able to react and do this, but like they're prompting their spears towards you. They're about to attack you for what you're doing. As for putting out the fire, what am I gonna make you roll for that?
If we could just do like putting out fire things normally, where like choose a certain amount of on fire, and me doing this just reduces it by like a set amount.
Okay. Yeah.
So if she was 100 on fire, it would reduce it by like half, I think, to 50.
Okay. Yeah. You've put out half of the fire. The cloak, despite being warm, was still covered in some water. And yeah, you've put out half of the fire, and it's like as you took the cloak off from Willow's hands, her hands burst into like had smoke coming out of it again, and they're red with embers. But it's definitely but as soon as you put it on the branches, it's definitely has like less heat and energy than before. Armand, it is your turn. What do you do?
How close am I to the soldiers? In terms of feet.
The map says 60 feet.
Oh wow. Quite some distance. I'm gonna back up another 20 to put myself at 80 feet.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm gonna ready an arrow and shoot at the middle guard.
Okay. 20 feet is 1/4 of your movement? Or is it your full movement? Because
no,
you take
nowhere near my full movement.
Okay, is it 1/4 of your movement?
Not even 1/4.
Okay, cool.
1/4 of my movement is it's almost 30.
Alright. You're gonna shoot at the middle guard. Go ahead.
Yep.
Make your attack roll. Blocking, huh?
Without a shield? Oh boy.
I don't have a shield now. So I'm gonna be having some penalties. Defense against projectiles. It's a fired projectile.
Yep.
Yeah. So minus 80. Yeah, I'm at minus 10, I think. Yeah. Minus 80. I'm gonna be spending 2 points of fatigue to try to survive this.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. And he's wearing armor. Okay, 73. Meaning you do 150% of your weapon's damage. Wait until armor is taken into account. I do believe it's against piercing damage.
Thrust, yeah.
Thrust. Okay, cool. So that is going to be 120% of your weapon's damage.
And that's from 2 times 55, 66 damage.
66 damage. All right.
And that's a critical.
That is a critical. Yeah.
Well, it's always a critical.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, let me roll physical resistance, and you can roll 1 to 100 plus your damage.
Was there any bonus for Eyes of Death? Trying to remember.
You can take a -10 penalty to aim specifically at some spots that would be best,
Gotcha.
and then it gives you like
I did not do that during the attack roll, so I will not apply it.
yeah. All right. 88. I rolled 105. I'm
Nice.
good. You do hit an important point, but this is a tough guard. Okay, this one is put on the defensive. The other two are going to attack Iskeradin. One of them is basically going to try to put you at weapons point, and the other one is going to try to catch you with the back end of the.
A knockout blow?
Actually, like one of them sees you shooting at his friend, and he's just going to charge you. With
What's their movement value?
right, you're at 80 feet.
Yep.
I know that movement in Anima is a lot usually. So this guard is pretty agile, so he's got 8. 8 agility, and how many feet is that?
How much armor does he wear?
It's like it's only like the what's it called, the plating and stuff. So there, like based on what you can see on the image, there's lots of places where you could aim to avoid the armor, because like they've got the breastplate, the gauntlets, the helmet, and everything else is like cloth.
I'll just insinuate the movement penalty for armor.
Hmm?
The movement penalty for armor? Yeah.
Yeah. Even if, yeah, I think it's a -1. Even with that, even with the -1, I am able to move 80 feet. So he charges you as he's going to attack you. And the other one is going to attack Iskeradin. Iskeradin, how are you going to defend?
Is he actually like coming at me with like weapons point, or does he want to shank me?
He's not talented enough to do weapons point, so he's gonna try to use the back end of the spear to knock you out.
He is just going to dodge then for now.
Okay. So knockout maneuver is
A -40, I believe.
yeah, -40. Wait, hold on. Attempting to knock out an opponent using something other than an impact weapon has a -40. Otherwise, I just have to try to get a critical level higher than 50. And since it's like the butt end of the spear, it's a -10 to use the
Secondary.
yeah, the secondary attack. So here is the attack against Iskeradin. So that's 86. Okay. Armand, do you have any armor?
I do not.
No, Armand, do you have
Yes,
any
I have an armored long coat.
Okay. How many points of armor is that against thrust?
2.
2. In this case, that boosts you to 10%. Yeah, 10%. You take 6 points of damage.
I got hit?
Hmm? Oh wait, yeah, sorry. Roll for defense. I thought that I thought the 22. Yeah, both of you roll for defense once.
Right, I was about to say, I don't...
Yeah.
Well, I get a defense.
I saw your previous roll that was for the critical. I thought that was. Ooh, that is 2. Roll 1d100 to see how much you feel by.
So the guy who ran up to me, did he take the -30 for doing 2 active actions?
Minus 25.
Minus 25.
25.
You're right. I forgot that. Yeah. You. Yeah. Because
Argue for every advantage I can get, right?
because you created. You're still going to take. 6 points of damage. You take 50. But you take like 10%. Okay. And Iskeradin, please roll dodge.
Mhm.
Against 86.
4.
Okay. 80%, and it. Yeah. So 80. 80%.
It becomes a PHR check depending on the damage he dealt. have to take non-lethal blow.
It's a
Or
non-lethal.
have to.
Yeah, you take so. Oh wait, I must make a directed attack against your head. So it's actually only 20%.
It's gonna hurt though.
Yeah,
Still hurts.
20% is going to be 12 points of damage. I only need to. And I produce only half of the damage indicated on the combat table, so 6 points of damage. But I consider the full damage for the critical level. Would 12 be a critical on you, Scaradin?
Well, aimed at the head, all attacks are critical.
Oh,
Technically speaking.
cool.
This
So
is critical.
roll 1d100 plus 12. Roll physical resistance. No, you are not knocked out. You are.
Ow! Do you get paid to beat up researchers? I'm not fighting you.
Stand down. Get away from the tree.
I think you have something else to worry about, and he's gonna point at Armand.
Yeah. You hear Willow saying, "You're pointing in the wrong direction." And yeah. And she's going to be, because you've taken out some of the fire, she's going to be able to act. Next turn, everybody roll for initiative.
I'll be taking 2 attack this turn.
Okay.
Ooh, I got some parts of the plant there. Uh-oh, they're fast. No, she's fast. They're very slow.
Yeah. Alright. Willow is first, and let's do a. Oof. Is that pain? She's casting. And she's basically going to materialize some water around the branches that are burning and extinguish the rest of the fire that's on her tree. And then she's gonna keep on chanting. That produced like a bright light, and one of the guards just got doused in some hot water and is saying, witchcraft.
No, I left a kettle in the pocket. Sorry. Of my coat that I'm hitting the ground.
Okay. Roll persuasion at
Do I open roll?
at a minus 50.
No.
So no, you're not very convincing. Armand, it is your turn.
Okay, first I'll be taking a point blank shot at the soldier in front of me.
All right. Projectile modifiers. Point blank.
Gives me a bonus.
Yeah, it gives you a plus 30 instead of a penalty.
Right.
But you're changing target. So it is. So it's only a plus 20. Also, technically, it is at night. So you actually
I have night vision.
Oh, you have night vision. Never mind. You're good.
So plus 20 to the first. What the? Oh, plus. I put a plus in there. Hold on.
Yeah. You put plus. It happens.
51 plus 145. Or the 216.
260?
Yep. And he needs to block that.
I'm actually going to take the penalty of... No, even if I take the penalty of dodging, it's still the same thing. I'm going to take 2 points of fatigue and the minus 80 of fighting an archer without proper skill. Okay, that is...
I can do it for you.
280... there's 250... sorry. No, that is 150% of your weapon's damage. What is in arrows?
55.
Okay. 82. Very critical. Okay. Minus 82. The guard is right here. And physical resistance. Did you take the penalty to do augmented? Oof! Oof! Man down! Man down! I rolled a 1.
70 all action penalty.
Yeah, but he's knocked out by that. You just stick an arrow in his, like, I'm gonna say, yeah, you just stick an arrow in his crotch, and he faints.
Ow. That's oof. Oof. As for the
Oh, you said you were taking the penalty for 2 attacks.
oh, you're right. So the damage would be a bit lower.
Hey, he's still out.
It would have been like 22 less than yet.
Still a critical.
But, sorry about that.
It's okay, it happens.
I'll be shooting at another guard. Who did she pour hot water on? I know I shot the middle one.
This one just got poured water onto the. It's
I'm
not.
going to
It's
shoot
not
at
like
his
very.
cat.
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot at his thigh.
Okay. Cool. You're changing targets, so you have a minus 10.
As in
And
the
a
minus
20 because it's your second attack.
Armand, help me here. Remember you put the pot of water in your cloak? They think we're witches now. That's no good.
Let's see, minus 30 total. Fire.
You should convince them.
I'll convince them.
Bro is actually saying this.
90% of your weapons damage.
To the side.
49. Alright.
Terrible crit
That would not normally be a critical, but all of your attacks are criticals. So yeah, go ahead and roll 1d. Oh, you already have. Okay.
Oh wow.
Minus 6 to all of this one's actions. You hear a scream of pain, as basically like you jag the arrow like beneath between the armored gauntlet and
Oh, I shot him in the thigh.
in the side, in the thigh.
Thigh.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. You hear a grunt of pain, and like you hear that person like cursing in Ailish, and then saying, "God, he shot me in the leg."
Listen, everyone. Maybe we can just calm down now. I'll call Armand off. Armand, that's cool, right? If everyone puts on their weapons.
What
I don't think they're going to agree.
What of it, fellows? Let's have an upright, gentlemanly conversation.
Yeah, sure. Just stop shooting us.
Armand?
He like tentatively lower his bow.
Okay.
Willow is going to come towards you, Armand, and she extends her like burnt hand and says, "Give me a knife."
He just raises an eyebrow. He just shrugs. He pulls out like one from his like chest belt.
All right. She turns to the soldier that you knocked out, and she looks at the blade in her hand.
I will mention to her, if you kill him, it seems to become very difficult. Sure.
It will become very difficult. What?
It'll be very difficult in the future if she kills him.
It will. Sorry, could you repeat that?
It will be very difficult in the future if you kill him.
Roll persuasion.
I'm not telling her not to, but yeah,
Mhm.
I'm just letting her know.
Yeah. Let's see if your words reach her. They do. They do. She considers it, and she says, "I'm going to keep this for protection." And then she yells, "Take your passed out friend and leave this place. Don't ever return." And like,
Actually, before they go, who told you to burn this tree?
so like. One of them was limping, like the one who got shot in the thigh was limping away. His other companion like already ran to the other guard and is like dragging him dragging him away. The one who's limping turns around and says, "None of your business."
I
think
kind of
it's.
like. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I honestly think that it's exactly our business. As I mentioned, if the Lord the Duke hears about this, I don't think it'll go very well for your jobs, for your occupations.
You can't just attack guardsmen of the Duke like this while we're on duty.
Well, I'm pretty sure. No, Armand, you shot
square
first.
an arrow.
Hmm?
I twirl an arrow, just
Okay.
like, oh, is that so?
Okay, this lady, this lady with black hair, she's not from around here, had burned marks on her hand. She paid us handsomely to come here tonight while the mood was high to burn down this specific willow tree.
I turn to Willow.
Willow is looking stunned in the darkness.
You think she'd go this far?
And
I lean over and whisper to her. It won't end here. Not like this.
it won't end here.
Obviously, they're going to return and tell the Duke about what happened. They've already achieved what she has achieved. What she wanted. Unless they
The
never
Duke-
get back.
Duke doesn't believe in witchcraft. With just a little bit of water.
What did she say?
The Duke doesn't believe in witchcraft. A little bit of water falling from the sky.
It's your call, Willow. We can leave here, but you can't.
She looks at the knife and looks at the knife and she says, "Well, there's only one more step to go."
Does she send me a signal?
Hmm?
Does she send any signal to me?
Not anything in particular. She says, "I'll stay here. I'll defend the tree. No, I won't let anything happen to it. And
All right.
I'll
This
have to
is
think
your
on-
choice.
have to think on how I'm going to handle Ghana. I thought she was my friend. And she runs into her tree and vanishes into it.
Does the knife go with her?
Yes.
My dagger.
You'll never get it now. It's in a tree.
That's why I have a backup. But now I no longer have a backup. Oh no. What if it breaks and then I have no knife?
Well, I suppose I can't. Lessons will have to be another day. So,
Have the guards left?
Yeah, they've left.
I go up to the Scaradin. There's a lot of forest between here and the town. If I wanted, they could probably not make it back. Hey, look at him. Your thoughts?
I don't think that they'll be able to do us too much more harm, other than alerting Morgana that they failed and that we know what she's up to. And honestly, I like the honesty anyways. Also, I can't give the order to kill someone. I've never killed anyone.
You ever ate an animal, hunted a creature before?
Never hunted one. I assume I've eaten an animal, unless those shifts were lying to me.
That animal was killed by someone.
But not me.
I guess that's a nice way to look at it. But I've killed plenty. Mostly beast, but still a living creature.
Well, I would prefer not to go about this in that way. You may know better. This is an entirely new scenario for me. But I would rather not be killing gods.
And he shrugs. That really depends. Huh? I'll leave it at that then.
Alright. And you're going to get a flashback with this scene, but before that, I'm calling for another very short break.
Do I lose all my arrows?
No, you can regain all of the arrows you shot.
Okay. Alright then.
So you are going to remember the first time that you met Willow.
Wow.
You return to your memories of ancient times. You return to the ruins before they were ruins. Back in the day. I am putting you on the map where it's the ruins because I don't have like a not ruins version of this.
We just imagine buildings and
Oh yeah, exactly.
fire.
And you're witnessing the ceremony. Basically, the elves, the alchemists who are working here during the summer, not equinox, but solstice. Yeah, during the summer solstice, are bringing. Sorry. They're bringing silver weapons to be enchanted. They're bringing food, and one of their elders is coming, and out of the woods you see emerging a group of forest spirits. They're going to be dryads and creatures very similar to the ones you've seen in the forest beforehand. Not the same entities, but the same species. And at their head is this very old looking dryad. Her skin is wrinkled like bark, and her teeth are missing, and she is clearly losing her eyesight. She like makes her way there, and behind her you can see that there's a couple of those like woodland creatures who are basically pulling an old yew tree, an old willow tree, like that's been like uplifted out of the ground, and put on this cart and just brought over, and that willow tree meets halfway into the ruins the elder elf, and what's his name? Hi, alchemist. Varden Uldil Norfiel says, "Life cannot be eternal. For the cycle to begin again, and for new things to be born, and for the world to change and progress, death must happen. Today we honor the two who are willing to part with their lives in order to bring about new life. Let the cycle continue." And the members of the elves and members of the woodland creatures are going to step forward, take the silver weapons, and basically execute end the lives of both of the elders, the old elf and the old willow, and spills their blood on the altar here. And after that, their bodies are going to be cremated. The entire time, the alchemists are chanting and imbuing energy and power into into like a magical object that is present here. And there's a sense of everything fitting into place during this ritual, where every single person seems to have a purpose and a role and does it. You can see that like there's somebody here just to cast a spell to ease the pain of the two that are dying, and yeah. After that, branches fallen from the different yew trees around here are brought together, made into a bonfire and lit, and the high alchemist Varden comes towards you, and he's holding in his hand an acorn, like a seed, and he says, "This was one of the last gifts given to us by the widow who sacrificed herself. High Priestess, would you like to plant it?" And your sister Rain just turns down the offer. She says, "I am not here to take part in religious ceremonies of a religion I'm not a part of." Varden looks at Rain and Mornias. What do you do?
So looks to Rain. Well, no, he doesn't. Is Lilium is not the religion of the Sylvain either.
No, it's the
barrels they worship.
Yeah, it's they worship the gods of light, but like you see a lot of the future Lilium religion present in the rituals that they're performing here.
He has very like long fingers and bony hands, and he like folds them together and says, "I am also not of this religion, but if it would not offend, I would happily and with great honor plant the seed."
Right. You take a few steps away from what will be ruins in the future, put the seed into the earth, and out of it, immediately vibrant with energy, sprouts out just a hint of like a sprout, and above it there's a green glow that transforms into that is going to transform into an actual person when I find where I put this image. I believe, it's here. And this young Hamadryad Dryad is going to appear.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, well
Oops.
done there, Daddy. Very scared.
Oops. Oh, I can see that little bit of the picture in the original Willow
yeah.
picture.
Yeah, it's they're from the same image. Yeah. And like as she merges into existence, Willow is basically greeted by the other forest spirits who tell her, "Hey, it's rare for a dryad to be born so quickly after her tree. It's great. Welcome to your life." The entire and like in the background, her mom's body is being used to like fuel the fire on the altar, and she's very casually informed of this fact and takes it in better than a human might have. And after that, like they immediately like talk to her about like the great circle, how like through death emotions are returned to the Nexus, and then things can be born from the Nexus back into the world, and how this great wheel is what powers magic. And she shows this great appreciation for magic, and immediately starts asking people to teach her spells. And she's going to move up to Iscaridin and ask.
Oh no!
Not Iscaridin, but Morlias, if he can teach her a spell.
I can teach you a great many spells, but you must start with small things. And I want to teach her, if I can, maybe my absolute favorite spell.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I don't want to teach her detect minerals. That's boring. Well, my new absolute favorite spell. No, she doesn't know that spell either. Dang it! Okay, I'll just teach her a little bit of earth magic.
All right.
I'll make the dirt swirl and form it into pleasing shapes.
All right.
I will say, nature is composed of incalculable numbers of different parts. But if you focus and tune out one part, you can find another. And he will teach her to detect minerals and show her all of the silvers and the golds and the rubies and geodes and different bits of earth beneath them and how they all interact. Because he's a scientist also.
Nice. Willow gleefully learns the spell, and after that, she's gonna show you the cool trick she just learned, how to make a little bit of wind. The spell she was about to teach you before you enter the flashback, and
So,
we're gonna end this flashback here.
so I get create breeze or create raise wind.
Raise wind, yeah, if you want.
Cool. No, I love air spells.
Yeah, you have opposite magic, right?
I do, so I can take
Cool.
all the magic.
Yeah, you can take all of the magics without having them be more expensive.
Yeah.
That is the end of your flashback.
So as they're just standing here, and like Iskander slowly looks at Armand and just directs a finger through the valley and creates a breeze.
That'll help on a humid day.
Or at sea.
Oh, never been in the sea. Now, Willow, I like pattern tree.
Doesn't seem to be any response.
I'm gonna build some traps around your tree for protection. Is that okay with you? Like, wave a branch or something. I don't know.
You clearly see a branch that was wounded, moving up and down, and there's like a slight glow of magic as it starts to heal.
Gotcha. Well, good thing I don't need to sleep very much. As I get to
All right.
so I guess I can pull out like a handout and I can write down what I roll and what I'm building.
All right. Yep.
As
So
Garrett's just sort of walking around while waiting, just enjoying the fact that he can make breezes, and he's got a really heavy cloak that's still a little wet. So
Yeah.
he's like drying himself and letting it like billow and having a good time.
So I only need a third of the normal sleep, so I can work for maybe 4 to 5 hours.
Okay.
Traps.
Yeah.
In general, it takes 1 hour to build a trap without penalty.
Okay.
So I guess I'll build 4 different traps, or
Okay.
5, depending on. 4, because I gotta go find the materials anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll be taking 4 rolls.
So are they going to be like pit traps, or all
like-
of them different?
The first one's gonna be like the kind that like wraps around your leg and like lifts you into the air.
Okay.
I forgot what it's called.
A noose.
Well,
a
It's not really a noose, but
Yeah.
yeah. Leg trap, what this will call it. So this will be for the leg trap.
Cool.
And then next, I'm going to set up a swinging log.
Ooh, yeah. Quick question for that. Do you want to prioritize? Okay, so you have the option of prioritizing making them discreet or making them efficient, or prioritizing neither. Prioritizing the efficiency makes it harder to dodge but easier to spot. Prioritizing the discretion makes it harder to spot but easier to dodge.
Let me go look up the table for that.
It's just basically like right now you've reached difficulty 180, so you have a trap that would where somebody would have to roll 180 to spot it and 180 to dodge it against. And since
I'll keep it even.
Okay, you can keep it even. Yeah, that's like okay. So like that was that the pit trap or the cord trap?
The coil trap.
Okay.
And then the next one, this will be the swinging log.
Okay, nice. That reaches difficulty to 80. That is going to be very hard to spot and very hard to dodge.
This one will be a small pitfall trap. And it's filled with like, I guess, I already have a log swinging at people. I guess spikes ain't that big of a deal anymore.
Well-
Spike trap. Or,
I'll if I may, I'll help you dig with my earth moving spells.
oh, then I could just get pure height and a pitfall trap.
It depends on how deep he lets me dig with the amount of with just 30 presents, because eventually I'm gonna hit raw stone, and that might be harder to do.
Yeah.
How deep can he make it?
Okay.
Because this does affect that.
So these are going to be like the skills needed to avoid each of the ones you've made.
So I have a 180 coil trap, 180 like coil trap
Mm-hmm.
with acrobatics, and I got a 240 log trap. This dodge, a 180 pitfall. How many feet would you allow it? That determines the effectiveness, how deep it is.
Yeah, basically, since you rolled 180, it's not necessarily going to have like a specific amount of damage, but it's 180 is very difficult, right?
Yes.
One of these absurd.
Absurd.
Okay, so it has a base damage of 60, so yeah, it's a pretty good pit trap.
Okay. We were wondering if I could like use my earth powers to make it really deep.
I'd say that this would cut down the time to make the trap more than anything else.
Alright. And the last trap.
You could have something like a rudimentary bow ready to like shoot out an arrow with like a
jank crossbow setup. That's what
I don't think you have a crossbow for that, but you can like set something
Mob
up.
trap number 2.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's keep it simple.
All right. All right.
All right, another 4. Copy, paste. What are the 4 totals?
Cool.
I put the X there because I didn't know how deep it was. Anyways, that's there you go. I set up some traps and then I go back to sleep.
All right. You head back to sleep, and dream of what's been happening lately, but also of your past lives. You get brief flashes of your past lives. You know that you existed in a time of turmoil, and you existed in a time of war, and a time of heroics. And you know you went on a lot of adventures, but you only get glimpses of this giant tree, this marble city. You get glimpses of incredible magics, weapons and heroes, and some of the most ancient gods to have ever walked this earth. And then you wake in the morning to find that someone has once again snuck into the camp and deposited pieces of ore left and right, just raw material. There's silver here. There's what's it called? Copper there, iron right next to Lucen's tent, and just in small piles. Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's Sheridan.
Yeah, Willow knows about the traps. Cool.
Ro sort of like steps outside and he's like smiling and shaking his head, and he'll pick up each individual piece and like dust it off and try to figure out what it is with his own eyes before using the spell.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And sort
Yeah.
of
I think you have enough. Do you have points in science to
I do.
Okay. In this case, you wouldn't necessarily need to cast this. No, you know those minerals.
Look at you flaunting your PhD everywhere.
I know all my PhDs. An unusual gift, he'll say, like looking at the others. I assume these are these big chunks or just like little?
There's some large chunks and some big chunks. It feels more like something that's someone would have picked up by going through the ground and selecting whatever they came across.
Yeah.
Needless to say, Thomas is not pleased. Thomas is basically at this point yelling his lungs out at the guards, telling them they're incompetent, they're absolutely useless. Armand went to sleep for 1 hour and this happens. Sophia looks perplexed, and Lucent looks worried. Lucent is saying something scary is about to happen. I can feel it. We've messed up. We shouldn't have done any of this. This was a bad idea.
It's scary and just like wandering around picking up. He's like, "Oh, Sophia, look at this. It's very finely preserved, like a very large chunk of this. You wouldn't find this usually unless this sort of certain thing occurred 100,000 years ago." He's gonna just casually look over and say, "Can I keep some of these for, just to study the sediment?"
I'd say leave them where they are, but someone's already getting to the pile of gold, so I don't think I can stop everyone from taking those. Just
Can I find a particular large piece of gold?
yeah, like you can find where the pile of gold is. Most of the largest chunks have already been taken by members of the expedition, and there weren't that many to begin with. But you can get some gold nuggets.
I am going. Sorry, go ahead.
How many?
You get 5 gold nuggets.
All right,
Ground.
5 gold.
As Carradine is just gonna take a minute with the nudist, and he's gonna try that thing again. Animal senses. Okay.
All right. Roll willpower.
No, no, we suck. Sigh. And he's
You're
going to
okay.
look through. What?
You're okay. Just no one's activating any of the powers properly yet.
He's gonna look through. He's not going for like the most valuable things, but he's gonna look for anything that was like hard. That's easy to miss. Maybe not the most common thing above the pile, but like even if it was like and looking through the ore sheet found like a key or something that's also made of malleus. He's just gonna look through, find something small.
Okay. I think you're gonna find like not a precious gemstone, but a gemstone that sort of like blends in with the mud around it that nobody else no, not electrum and not platinum. I've already given y'all a nudist for free just for being here. We'll see about stuff like that later.
That's cool. He'll delight in the tiny thing, and he won't even use cleanliness on it. He'll just put it dirt and all into his pocket.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Sophia comes towards you, like she's marching towards you, folds her arms and says, "All right, you told me you had a sense of what was going on before. Tell me now. I want to know."
We had a what?
You said you had an idea. Both of you, Armand. You mentioned you thought you had an idea of where the pies had come from yesterday.
I thought they had come as a present to Lustitia from the Duke.
No, he wouldn't have been sneaky about it. Makes no sense.
I don't know.
Or just nuggets lying around?
Now that I can't say would be a Dukely thing to do. He'd probably send actual jewelry if it was for Lustitia.
Yeah. Armand.
He rubs his chin.
You might have everybody else under the impression that that you're just a ranger and a record keeper, but I have noticed that you I have come by your cart. You weren't there for most of the night, either of you. I know you have a sense of what is happening. I have noticed it.
I was just in the woods.
What were you doing in the woods?
I was going around. I don't sleep very much.
Did you see anything worth reporting?
Just some trees.
Anything special about those trees?
Let's see. The forest was awfully quiet. There's very little wildlife going about, which is unnatural. A veritable stillness.
Right. Mr. Rowe, please help me out here. I can sense that there's something going on. I just don't have all of the pieces of the puzzle, and I'm just trying to put them together. Do you have any clue? Anything to explain this? Those gifts?
I think that there are powers at play here. Duke being one of them. But I don't know. You said I was gone too, and I was. I was in the woods. I was finding myself more interested in being out in nature in the trees than I'd usually be. This place is interesting and full of energy and nice, and I don't know. Maybe we have some very unusual, eccentric locals.
Maybe. Alright. What about
I don't
this?
think they mean any harm.
What about this? Do you remember the mural we found on the first day?
Yes.
Well, it depicts two groups, one dressed in silver, seemingly coming from another land, bringing a knife, an elder, and some food. The other group, dressed in green, seeming to come from here, bringing food and ore, an unknown person as well. We got food and ore given to us, but we didn't, as far as I know, give anybody food or a knife. So, what's happened? So, do you think this is...
I like pat my chest. I'm like, oh.
Armand? That's where you... Is that your... not quiver, what's the word for...
Sheath. Sheath.
Sheath.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you lose one of your weapons?
I seem to have misplaced my knife, yes. Now that you mentioned the word. I still have my backup, and he lowers down, pats his ankle. I'll have to go look for it.
Alright. Well, I hope you find it so we can get and I hope I find some answers. Good day, gentlemen.
Have a good day, Sophia.
Have a good day.
She heads off.
If you want finer company, you can always say hello to me.
To who?
Say, come find me. He just says,
I don't understand, neither me nor her are going to understand what you just meant.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm trying to confuse her mostly so she gets off my back.
Yeah. Yeah, she heads off. You can see Lucent is avidly drawing a pile of amethysts that are to the side, and oh no, not amethyst. The other one, bismuth, a pile of bismuth. That's to the side. He seems to be finding the colors very interesting. Yeah. What are your characters doing?
Can we, now that Sophia's gone, can we find a moment of silence? Like privacy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think she's trying to make us remember?
Nah. She's probably just has that intuition most ladies have on what's going around here.
Well, I certainly hope two elderly people don't show up in front of our wagons tomorrow. That would be unusual.
Yep. I'm gonna go do something else real quick. So you
Oh,
have
go
fun
ahead.
here.
I'll
follow
probably
back
have to be
later.
working soon.
I'm going to go into the forest near the edge of the town so I can spy on what's going on in the town now.
Okay.
Unless something approaches me in the woods.
All right. You start to head towards the town, and on your way there, you hear the clattering of hoofs and the stomping of boots, and you see the Duke heading towards the ruins on top of his horse, followed by the same amount of guard that he had protecting him on the first day that he came to visit the ruins.
How are they equipped? Any differences? Are there
No,
is there a
not-
great increase in the
no.
number of torches they're carrying?
Not any particular differences. You can see one of the guards is definitely equipped with something to like put his weight on because his foot was hurt. Because his heel was hurt by an arrow, and
Thigh, excuse me.
thigh. Sorry, and there's another two that are just not here at the moment. There's two guards missing where they were before. Apart from that, yeah, no changes in the equipment. They're still the same with their weapons, but
What's their expressions look?
I got woken up at 7 in the morning to go walk through the rain to escort this asshole.
No, what's the Duke's expression?
Oh, the Duke's expression. Yeah, he seems pretty.
No particular agitation or anger or
No.
grimacing.
No, none that you can spot.
I don't get a general feeling of hostility coming off of them or anything.
Not more than usual.
Okay. I quickly return to camp.
Right.
I find Mr. Armand.
Okay.
Armands.
Alright. Yeah. You see Thomas. He's currently just like he's talking to Lucent, and he's saying, "All right, this should be enough. Just make sure that they're well trained and that they will be able to actually guard the place. All right." Tell them to come, and I'll interview them. Make sure like we're getting some skillful people.
I approached Mr. Thomas Armand. Sir,
Armand. Yes.
I was on my patrol and I noticed the Duke coming our way.
Ah, patrolling already. Good job, lads. All right. Well, then let's greet the Duke. I did send someone to ask him a question last night. Didn't think he'd come answer himself. So Thomas heads towards like the
Towards the town.
basically like towards the edge of the ruins closest to the town. And yeah. Iskariton, what are you doing in the meantime? You're muted.
Sorry. I'll probably be preparing to do my job today.
Okay.
Out in the dang it, cat's on my desk. In the ruins, documenting things, also trying to piece together things from my new memories of like where I was standing, and okay, there's Willow's tree, and trying to remember where everything was from my memory.
Okay. Yeah, you're slowly getting a better picture, and in fact, like you get some ideas of where some of the objects might end up. And if you want, you can like direct people to dig in a specific place where they're most likely to find like interesting tidbits.
Cool. I can rules to memorize if you want to sort of try to piece these together.
That would actually be pretty fitting.
Yeah. Very difficult.
All right, next you are able to recall very useful information. Progress is made. Lots of new pieces of metal that have survived the weathering of time are found, and more clues are added to this entire thing.
Cool.
And the Chukaroks, like you hear him coming from far away. He has someone announce him with his full title. And then he is. Give me 1 second. Do I have? Yeah. What is that? No, not this one. Give me just 1 second. Yeah. He says. Hello, Mr. Armand. So happy to see you. Yes, I have come to answer your question. Just one thing beforehand. Is Lustitia here today? I've been meaning to talk to her again. Oh, I understand. All right, she's on business elsewhere. That's perfectly fine. Probably blessing some towns around here, doing same things. Anyways, yes, to answer your question, you are absolutely free to take whatever you want from this site, bring it back to for studies. I'll actually be glad to be rid of all of this stuff. I've had people coming into I've had some villagers breaking the laws and coming into those woods at night with their dogs. Messing things around. 2 women have been seen, but have been spotted by my guards with their 3 dogs just going around the place with torches and causing just being up to no good in general. In fact, once you're done with this expedition, I intend to have the rest of the ruin, whatever you have not taken from the ruins, completely destroyed, put back into the ground or burnt, so that there is nothing left of this heathen place. You see a couple of the archaeologists looking around, especially at the very heavy stone pillars that you could not take with you, and just this mixed reaction to this. Thomas seems very pleased. He says, "Thank you very much. We'll make very good use of all of this, and as we mentioned before, I'll use this to convince the people of Ilmora to build a building dedicated to remembering those pieces of history." What are you 2 going to do?
I grimace. This is not good news.
Yeah. So the other reactions have been mixed. I don't imagine. How's Sophia look about it?
She looks. She's evaluating she looks at the pile of objects you've already dug up, and she seems to be evaluating which ones y'all could carry back with you. She seems very interested in the idea of collecting as much information and things from this place as possible. Lucent is biting his nails furiously.
I slip away from the crowd as I make my way to Willow's Grove.
Okay. All right. You reach Willow's Grove. You step over the traps and you reach her tree. You see her basically. She's hanging on one of her branches as if it was a hammock. When you arrive, she turns her head, and you can see she has some linen bandages around her hands.
Willow,
Yes.
I have bad news.
It's always bad news. What is it?
The Duke has come here and given permission to the expedition to freely retrieve anything they want from the ritual site. And after we're done, he intends to destroy the area.
But it's the place we used to communicate. His ancestors.
The Duke is a pious follower of Christianity and immensely looks down on Lydium and ancient tradition.
We can't let that happen.
No, he is proactively moving even farther. I,
Do you think
and Skeleton, do not hold the authority to even attempt to dissuade him. We would have to contact a more influential member of the expedition to possibly make amends. And I would hope that you would come and speak with them to help convince them to convince him. Otherwise, you will have no choice but to defend yourself.
no choice? Do you think Morgana was right?
Right? About the humans? No. About the Duke? Possibly. After all, I'm your friend, aren't I?
You're not quite human.
I consider myself so. Born from human parents, raised amongst human society. Just because I like the woods doesn't make me less human.
You have the face of someone I knew from a long time ago, and the same eyes. You talk to me like you've talked to me before. Saw Iscaridin remembering a spell I taught him a long time ago, and I used the spell he taught me to get you your ore.
Ah, thank you for that.
Spirits are going to be angry at this.
Yes, which is why I've come here to see if we could try another method before you and the forest are forced to make a very drastic decision.
Talking with the expedition is not going to do anything. It's the expedition doesn't have any authority on the Duke. We have to convince the Duke, and I'm gonna have to get the spirits something. You've provided the steps, the two of the three steps for a tradition to be complete, and normally you wouldn't be asked to provide the third one. I need to talk to my people. She circumvents one of the traps and then pauses and says, and like turns back to her tree and says, "Can you guard the tree for me?"
I'll do what I can.
And she's basically going to jump and disappear into the ground. She's got like earth movement when she's around her tree.
Nah, Arma's like, this is...
What is Iscaridin doing? You're muted.
Thank you. Is Carradine for a little while is thinking while he goes about his, and then he'll abruptly look up and say, "I've got to get another scroll from the cart. I'll be right back. Don't go too far without me." And he'll move back to his cart, and he's gonna look around and see if there's anyone nearby or in his cart. I assume they're all working.
Yeah, everybody's either working or looking for the last pieces of copper nuggets that haven't been picked up from the floor yet.
Alright, so he's going to begin whispering, and he's going to cast 2 spells. The first is Arcane Level Reality Pen.
Arcane level? What?
Reality Pen.
Reality pen. Okay.
So, he enchants one of his pens, and it can now float and write on anything.
Okay, cool.
Second, he is going to cast Advanced Level Missive.
Okay.
After writing a letter to the current queen of Alberia. Now, here's the thing: Advanced Level Missive has a 600-mile radius, or I can send it 600 miles from where I am. Is she? That's 936 kilometers. If that helps.
Okay. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Right, you gotta whip out the map.
Do you want to actually come over to
Yeah.
my game?
Oh yeah. Listen. You put your map to scale on the game. I'll let you connect there and check. Hold on. Just give
I
me
actually have a circle on that map right now, waiting just to see, because I was already measuring.
Okay. Glenda Belfort. She's still in Belfort right now. That's about. Yeah.
Where are we?
That's within 500 kilometers and definitely within 500 miles.
Okay.
Yeah. You're in the forest of Glenda,
Force of Glen.
just above Belfort.
Oh yeah, so definitely.
Yeah. You're definitely within range.
Okay, so I'm going to send her a message,
Okay.
and I'm going to say, things have been going excellently for this expedition. We found a lot of things, a lot of material that I'm sure would be suited not only for the people looking, anyone interested in the history and past religions, but also for your own personal ideas. However, the local duke sees fit to purge the area once the excavation is complete. And there are individuals here, locals of a certain authority. A certain unnatural authority.
Locals. Dots. Locals of a certain authority. An unnatural authority. Dots.
And they're opposed to his actions. If he sees to go through with it, I'm not certain what we can do to stop the retaliation, and that would be poor for myself and for what much of Alberia could pose to stand for. I don't know if this is something that you can assist with, or if you even receive this message, but I will do my very best, as will companions of mine. But if you could send any aid at all, it would be grateful.
Even permission, that'd be good too.
And the message is going to be signed. So wait, no, I'm going to sign it, obviously. Professor is carried in row.
Okay. Alright.
Yours truly.
Yours truly, Smooch XOXO.
What the fuck?
And that's going to actually take a good bit of Xeon. That's going to take 220 Xeon for both of those spells.
Okay. But casting the reality pen reduces the cost of the rest of the literary spells, right?
Yep, it was 120 for reality pen, and then it would have been 200 for missive, but I reduced it to 1.
So how?
So she can send it back.
She might not be able to, but she might be able to send help, which is what we need.
Yeah. I know something that could help. I just need to check. I know 2 things that could help. I just need to check which one is faster.
Yeah.
Oh, actually 3 things that could help. So this has a movement of 10, but it can't fly. So we're gonna count it as a movement of 7. Where are the... where are the other ones? I just need to, yeah. Oh, and those things don't really have a movement value, if I remember correctly. At least not in. Here it is. Okay, those things are fucking slow. Okay, I might have to send. Hold on, can she send that? Is that? Oh no, that's okay. It's starting to look like the help I'm sending you is gonna be good, very unusual help. Hold on, let me check on that. Yeah. Yeah. No. God damn it. Is there anything else I could summon? Gosh. So this one isn't dead, so that doesn't work. I'm just trying to no, I'm gonna send that. That'll be fine. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Yeah. You reach out and call for help from your patron. Okay, Armand, you spend a little bit of time guarding the tree. You see Willow return. She's running. She looks like she's out of breath, panting. But she recovers from that much faster than a human would, and she stops in front of you, saying, "All right, she's not happy. She's gotten the other spirits stirred, and she's headed to the village. She says the villagers won't stand for this. Those who still hold the belief in them. I'm worried about what she'll do, but I'm worried about what will happen if she doesn't do anything, if we don't do anything."
Yeah, Armand will nod. I believe you have the basic right to exist. No, I'm just agreeing with Will. You have the right to exist. If he's threatening that, then what else can you do? Lie down and die? I don't think so.
Morgana says that I was trying. She takes the dagger out and she says, "I was trying to. You're newcomers, so according to the old ways, if you give food when asked and give a knife when asked, then you're respecting the traditions, and we have to give an exchange and food. It's part of people changed that. It used to be part of the ritual to make the objects, but people just used that to mean that we were still getting along, but Morgana says it's not enough. Morgana says we gotta go back to asking for a life like we used to. She wants to ask the Duke's life.
Rather extreme. He obviously won't agree.
I don't think he will. What should we do?
It's not something we can solve by ourselves. Like I said, we need to ask for help.
Right.
Otherwise, we have no options besides the worst options.
Right. I'll follow you.
Mm-hmm. Or I could bring her here.
I would prefer that with the traps. That would be best.
Wait, what? Say that again, I didn't hear you.
I would prefer that. I would prefer not having to live in my tree. That would be best.
Alright, then follow me. And I head back to camp.
Wait, no. She said she'd prefer not leaving the tree. So you go and
Oh,
get.
right, okay.
Yeah, you head back to camp on your own.
I head back to camp,
Right.
and I find Scaradin.
Okay.
I find Lucent
Okay.
and Sophia.
All right.
His Scaradin's coming out of his carriage.
So I just hailed it as Scaradin. I'm sure he'll follow. And then I find Lucent. Where's Lucent?
Lucent is currently. He's hotly debating Thomas. He's saying that we can't just let him destroy a place like this. This entire palace we can't take with us, and this place used to be sacred. It's still sacred for a lot of people. And Thomas is responding, it's sacred to a lot of superstitious idiots. What do you do?
Well, double or nothing. I'll approach the two of them. Mr. Armand's, Lucent.
Yes.
I have a lead on what may have been happening around. I'd like to show the both of you.
May have been happening? What are you talking about?
The pies, the oars,
Oh,
the various strange
the
oddities
villagers
around
are
the
playing a
fort.
prank on us and getting past those incompetent guards. That's all there is to
It's
it.
not very far, Mr. Armand. I can show you.
No,
Persuasion.
I'm a busy man. I have to take care of an expedition. But do take Lucent with you. Lucent, go with Armand. Our discussion is over. Like, Lucent gets up and says, "Fine, I think I can convince you."
And I go find Lady Sophia.
Okay. You find Sophia.
I approach her. I asked her, you wanted answers, right?
Sorry?
I asked her, you wanted the answers, right?
That would be very appreciated.
And I'll ask you to follow me, Lucent, and Scaradin.
Where are we going?
We're going to a grove nearby.
Alright. Lucent
And
is coming with you, and so is Sophia. So you, and Iscaradin, we're already with them. All of you head together to the grove, and
watch your steps. I've set some traps.
that seems a bit. That's a lot of work. Is that what you've been doing in the forest?
Not mostly. I've been doing a lot of things in the. That's just one.
Right.
Armand is a very skillful woodsman.
I can see that. You make your way to the grove and find Will. You see her head poking out of the. Basically, you see her head poking from behind her tree, seeing you all approach, but she she's like not showing, not she's still like somewhat hiding from Lucent and Sophia. What do you do?
Willow, this is Mr. Lucent and Sophia, our head archaeologist. Sophia, Mr. Lucent, this is Willow, a dryad from around here.
Oh, I've heard of those. I've always wanted to meet one. And Sophia is a bit more, like, she raises an eyebrow and says, she looks like a human to me.
Mr. Rowe, it's not really my specialty to talk about this. You're muted.
You're muted.
How about Willow?
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I can hear you now.
I'll admit I know a good deal more. Willow, you did not want to speak on your behalf?
Who are those people? I've never met them before, not even in another life.
They are.
Well,
This Lucent is a avid believer in the superstitious and the supernatural, and Sophia is our head archaeologist and is someone of import in our expedition.
She can help.
She has proven. I don't know if she can, but it's worth trying.
She comes out from behind her tree and says, I'm Willow. And she's going to like flick her fingers a little bit and materialize a little bit of water that's going to start trickling down from her hand and like feed into the roots of her tree. She says, "I am a tree spirit and a creature of magic." Lucidity.
Me and Mr. Scaradin have been interacting with Lilith these past few days, looking into the matter. So we can vouch for this. I'm sure Mr. Rowe's word is far more valuable than mine with all his PhDs.
I do have a lot of PhDs.
Ro, you feel roll magic appraisal, please. Armand, roll
184.
Okay, 184.
My eyes.
Yeah. Okay. So Armand, you're going to see this sort of like this streak of purple falling from the sky and just land on Iscaradin's shoulder and just vanish completely. Iscaradin, you feel a weight on your shoulders that doesn't seem to be going away, and you hear a voice saying, "This is a message from Her Majesty. Take care of the Duke any way you see fit. Don't let him interrupt my vision of for this country." Please roll. Hold on. Actually, I need you to roll a psychic resistance check because it's technically an order. Did you roll more than 60?
I did. Well,
Okay.
not total, yes, but not my dice.
Oh yeah. No, it's a total. Yeah. You feel like there's almost a spiritual compulsion behind this because it's
Fudge.
almost.
Yeah.
Because it is a what's it called? Yeah. Because it's hard to differentiate between the voice and your own thoughts.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the fact that it announced itself as a message from Her Majesty makes you aware that it's not just your thoughts, and you're able to like keep control and not being influenced into just taking care of the Duke.
Guess I gotta do it. Scaradin's eyes go very wide. He says, "What did you just say, Armand?" Just now, just a moment ago.
Asking you to flaunt your expertise in explaining our situation.
Oh, well, yes.
Also, what was that?
That was an order from Her Majesty.
What is the answer from Sophia, Willow, and Lucent? What?
Sorry. Oh, that felt strange. First of all, are both of you of the mind? I know Lucent is. Sophia.
I have seen strange things. I have seen the dead return to life when I was in Stygia, and they tried to murder us.
Well, what is your take on this then? Obviously, Willow here is a tree spirit. There are beings here who would be killed by the destruction of this place. I don't mean to push you into any philosophical corner, but
I understand. We can't.
Are you willing?
We can't let the Duke act like this. If this place really does represent the home of some creatures, or the communion between us and supernatural and natural, it has to be preserved.
Well,
Just a quick drop. The supernatural, and the various inhabitants of this forest are feeling incredibly threatened recently and are quite agitated, would be putting it mildly.
and if we don't somehow stop the attempted burning, it might not just be forest spirits, but also people who are caught in the crossfire, and neither of those things are things we want. So, I need to do something about it. I have a couple of ideas. Also,
What?
I sent a message. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was about to ask you about what you were saying about Her Majesty.
I sent a message earlier today to Her Majesty of Alberia.
Earlier, it's
Today.
300 kilometers away from here.
I think it's a little more than that, but yes. I sent a message to her through as unusual means, and I've received a reply. Oh man, how the heck do I prove this to any of you? Armand, do you believe me?
Yes. I clearly saw it.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah,
He's gonna wave his hand over his shoulder.
It just kind of just landed on you.
I thought I felt something. I thought that might have just been like this shock.
It just came from the sky with purple.
I was told.
Is Carradine? Roll for. I know what this purple thing falling from the sky is. Yeah. I'm as a fellow game master of Anima. I'm sure you recognize what this is right now.
Yes.
I don't feel the end.
I'm getting tired of these things. These things are always on me.
Oh yeah, one of them was on you in another game. It's kind of the go-to summon to send a message spirit though.
It's called a soul scavenger, and he looks sort of unsettled as he realized it's gonna. I hope it's not gonna do what it usually does. Usually they try to kill you.
What?
But they also make good messengers.
Well, if it's from the Queen, I'm sure she isn't trying to put... What was the message?
The message was that we have permission to do anything in our power to stop the Duke.
Well, that's good to hear.
But
I didn't want to be marked a criminal again.
no, but that we
Again?
also obviously don't want to do anything that would tie it back to the supernatural, the peaceful spirits of this forest, or her, of course. And I have another idea. But it would only give us more time.
What is it?
We are only... the permission to destroy this place was only given once the expedition is through. That time is coming up quickly. But I think between Willow and I, we can extend it as long as we need to.
Oh,
I
so,
turned to Sophia, the head archaeologist.
so maybe what Morgana was doing when she broke the shovels was... we could do something similar.
Perhaps. But if we wanted to, that could be the situation, but I don't know if they're going to be digging much longer. We could create a false discovery.
Yeah, Sophia, Morgana is another dryad who broke our shovels. She's very angry. Lady.
Alright.
If you would like to gather any more ores, as you did, we could fashion them into a colossal skull of some kind, and that would invariably keep them here for quite a while looking for the rest of the bones.
And then I turned to Sophia. What do you think, Sophia? You're the head archaeologist, and I think you have the most say on how long we're here.
I think yes. If we found something like that, it would look like it. If we found two bones instead of just one, it would look like they're pieces of a puzzle of a larger whole that we'd need to uncover. That could make the expedition stay longer, but you say that the spirits have been angered since the expedition has been here. I feel like the longer we stay, the worse we're going to make things.
I turned to Willow. Willow, you said there was a ritual to assuage and prove that we're friends, right?
Yes, but it's the old tradition based on the art on the making of artifacts from this place. It's the tradition that gave birth to me, which had but the elves used to bring some items in exchange for some things that we brought. We brought food, ore, and yew branches, and along with a sacrifice. And the elves brought a knife, food, and a sacrifice of their own. Morgana intends to have
Off camera, just a moment.
us intends to have the humans accomplish their part of the ritual by asking for the Duke's life.
Good.
And then I look to gauge Lucent's and Sophia's reactions.
So Sophia raises her eyes and she says, "That's a terrible idea." Lucent says, "That could solve a lot of things." What do you do?
Well, we do have permission, I just state. However, removing the Duke from power would result in a lot of chaos.
Is there any way we could do it somewhat more peaceably, or are there any rules of land that make him
You're cutting out
ineffectual, or what was that?
You're cutting out a lot.
1 second. Be right back.
Maybe we could... I wonder if the Duke has any enemies.
Is there any rule of this land that would make him an inappropriate figure as the leader? Could we dethrone him in a more peaceable way?
Well, 2 years ago, it would have been really easy if we had any way of accusing him of witchcraft. These days, it's not forbidden anymore. If he were to openly rebel against the Queen or Iberia, like Lucent starts to list things that he knows are like crimes that would get even a noble in trouble. So like you know, like, and like, you know,
Rebellion, treason.
yeah,
crime.
rebellion, treason, killing a bunch of your own people, making the queen slightly upset.
Hey, if he ruled the forest and the forest people are his people by proxy, if he intends to kill them, that's a crime, right?
That's fair, but he doesn't know he intends to kill them, and in fact, just destroying the ruins would probably not kill any of the spirits. He'd just be destroying like the symbol of the union between natural and the natural world and humans.
Causing war with the natural would be a crime against Alberia.
It would be like the War of the Spirits all over again, and that did not go well. That's... what's her name? Willow says that.
Or the spirits.
Oh, it was a long time ago. When the influence of the elves fell away, a lot of the spirits took over Alberia and ruled. It was not a good time for the humans, but the first emperor managed to conquer this land back and killed a lot of the spirits and our allies. The Tuandaliers were massacred in a nearby forest, and the humans won that battle. I don't know if you've been speaking, Sam, but you're muted.
I'm sorry, I have not been speaking.
Okay, cool.
And I was aware of it this time.
Oh. Well, that's War of the Spirits would be pretty bad. And he turns. I just think the Duke seems to respect Mr. Armand and Lusticia.
We should try to speak to Lusticia. She came back to camp this morning.
Oh, that's
Did
good.
she?
And Willow is saying, I don't know how much time we have. Morgana was heading into town, and she
With
was
spirits in tow?
Hmm?
With
some spirits you met last night.
and they're gonna go ask for the Duke's life.
Maybe not right away, but they
I sure hope not.
they are going. She does intend to do something. The village, it's too far away from my tree. I could die if I left.
Right.
We have to go then. We have to find a way to stop her.
I need to prevent any. If we're to salvage, I have to prevent her from doing anything dramatic. That's what catching up to do.
Sorry?
And he's probably gonna go start sprinting.
Alright, and I think this is a good moment to end this session.
Very good.
Alright, I hope y'all had as much fun as I had. This was a very interesting game.
Story is rich.
And next time, we're gonna have a fight. It's gonna be fun.
And we might have 5 people.
Yeah. The new player, and hopefully Lusticia comes back. By the way, that person, I forgot his name, who is playing Lusticia, he is the one who designed, he's the one who designed like the leaves, the Anima banner that is all around this video today. And I'm going to retroactively put it on the video number 1 as well. I think he did a fantastic job. So thank you. Yeah, and I will see you all next week. Yeah.
See you next week.
See you next
And
week.
do the XP after I stop the video. Hi everyone, and thank you for watching this video. If you want to keep up with all of the adventures on this channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you can get a notification each time we upload the next episode of this story. And it would be very nice of you to like and share the video to help this channel grow. Have a nice day everyone.